Hey everyone, this is alexusadays, and we're continuing REST API testing with Postman. We are in Module 3 right now, and we're going to understand the HTTP protocol today. So what is HTTP? HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it is the foundation of any data exchange on the web. It is a protocol that allows communication between a client and a server. HTTP operates as a request-response protocol in the client-server computing model. First, you have a client request. When you type a URL into your browser, click a link, the browser sends an HTTP request to the server. The request consists of several components, including a method, header, and sometimes a body, depending on the type of the request. Then the server processes the request and sends back HTTP response. The response includes the requested resource, like a web page, status code, headers, and possibly a body. Then there is HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, and HTTPS is the secure version of HTTP. It uses special encryption like SSL TLS to secure the data exchange between the client and the server. Most of the pages nowadays use HTTPS. HTTP versus REST API. What is the difference? Well, HTTP and API are not the same thing, although they are often used together in web development. HTTP is the protocol that defines how data is transmitted over the internet. API is an interface that allows different software systems to interact and exchange data. You can say that REST API is operating on top of HTTP. HTTPS provides the secure channel through which data is transmitted between a client and a server. It ensures that all the communication is encrypted and protected from being intercepted or tampered with by a third party. The REST API defines how different software systems should interact, specifying the rules, endpoints, and data formats for these interactions. When a REST API is used over HTTPS, it leverages the secure channel provided by HTTPS to transmit its requests and responses. So the updated version, we were looking at this slide earlier in the previous videos, but the updated version will look something like this, right? REST API uses HTTP to send and receive data in a structured way. And imagine HTTP is essentially like a mail carrier delivering messages between two parties, and the API as the message format that both parties agree on. The HTTP mail carrier ensures that the message gets delivered, while the API message format ensures that both the sender and receiver understand each other. Okay, and we're on MDN Web Docs with developer mozilla.org. We're on the JSON page. So we go into the inspect again. We go into DevTools. We go into the network. And let's do a page refresh. Okay, and we see there's some things happening on the network here. So let me just clear out the search. And let's refresh it again. Make sure there's no filter. Okay, there was a filter for third-party requests. I had to click that off. So here is our who am I request that we were looking at previously, right? And here we see, okay, this is the request URL. That is where the request is being sent, right? The request method is get, and we're going to talk about request methods in the next module, but essentially this is what HTTP is asking, right? It's trying to get some resource. There's a status code, a response that says 200 OK, so response was successful, and we are going to talk about statuses in upcoming videos as well. So this is the header. This is the part of the request. There is a request headers and then response headers. Now, in the response header, this is just like general information about what kind of content type there is, some timestamps, some server information, and so on and so on. Same thing for the header, that it carries some information like where's the path going, what type of method is it, what kind of language it is accepting, if there's a cookie, and so on. Now, in the response, this is the body of the response, right? So we have a header. Now, in the response, this is a body of the response. We can have like a nice preview, or we can use edit like in raw format. So this is the body, the JSON body that is being sent back. This is all REST API, but it's wrapped within this HTTP interaction, right? And you can see here, so it is HTTPS, it is secure, not HTTP. And if we take a look here at the site information, you can see there's a little lock, right? And it says the connection is secure. So this is HTTPS connection, indication of that the web page is secure. The data that is passed through is encrypted. And if someone from a third-party device, let's say you're sitting somewhere on the Wi-Fi and they have a sniffer, they capturing the Wi-Fi packets that go over the air, and they try to look inside what kind of information you're trying to send, they will be looking at this request respond, and they will be looking at the body. It's all going to be encrypted. They will not going to be able to read what kind of information is passed through, because it's passed through HTTPS. Now, if we had HTTP here, some web pages still use HTTP, and this one auto updates to HTTPS, so it doesn't even allow. But let's say if you have a web page which is maybe like a smaller project or an older web page, it will be using HTTP. So the data that HTTP will be sending through and receiving, if it's not secure, it's all going to be done in plain text. So anyone who can grab your packets off the air, they will be able to decode it and look at your packets and see all the information that is being sent between your machine and the server. So most of the web pages today use HTTPS. You can see there's a little lock, and it also means that they generated an SSL certificate to make sure that this is a legit web page, legit secure connection, and it is actually encrypted. Okay, so this is a little introduction and overview and HTTP. As we move forward, we're going to dive into different HTTP methods and status codes and what they're for. Okay, this was alexusadays. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.